We are now going to talk to Mr. Alex Mhembere. We're going to go onto the ground. We're going to hear what type of madness does it take to operate a platinum mine in Zimbabwe. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Bernard. Thank you.
So, Mr. Mhembere, do tell. I asked all these old experienced mining guys, what went wrong in your life that you ended up in mining? So let's start there. What went wrong in your life that you ended up in mining?
Trying to do things that you don't know.
Yeah.
Is what ended up me there.
You're going to have to talk a little bit. So where did you study? Where did you start? I know you moved over to Zimplats from Mimosa. But fill in the detail. Let's just hear, I mean, is your career all Zimbabwean-based?
My career is Zimbabwean-based. I started in the finance, actually, a finance background. Went to Mimosa with a view of actually selling Mimosa, and then resuscitating it and getting it going, and attracting investment to grow Mimosa from the ashes, and attracted the big investors in Implats, who then took it to a higher level. So our old shareholders, for their percentage to Implats, we had the bucks to actually start and grow the mine to what it is now. And from Implats, obviously, having a share in there, then that's how I found my way to Zimplats.
So you're a financial guy?
I'm a financial guy.
So there's hope for Craig. I mean, you know, when these financial guys take over mining companies, us miners roll our eyes and we think, you know, this can't work. But seemingly it can work. A financial guy can run a platinum company.
Can run anything, including running Bernard.
Alex, yeah, run it better than what? Alex, so do tell us about Zimplats. Just give us the vital statistics, size, how many people, what contribution does it make to Zimbabwe?
Well, Zimplats is in Zim is the biggest PGM miner. Takes at least the pack there. There are other 3 operators as well. In terms of headcount, we do have 5,000 people, permanent employees and OPEX employees. And we do also have been in the midst of a big expansion project that covered about another 5,000 people. So up to now, and now depleting as we commission those projects, we're looking at a headcount of 10,000 people. And
actual tonnages and ounces?
In terms of tonnages, run of mine and tons processing, we are looking at 7.2, 7.5 million tons, and we are producing roughly 650 6E ounces, 650,000 6E ounces.
So it's a decent size platinum mine you are running.
Getting there.
Yeah, we'll hear from the other guys whether they think this is. So you must be big in the Zimbabwean economy. I mean, you must be a topic of discussion even at government level from time to time because of your size, because of your contribution to the economy. Are you like the Anglo-American of Zimbabwe?
We follow that footstep. At the moment, we look like the former Anglo-American in Zim, in terms of size, in terms of contributions. Yes, but the other players as well. It's not a good position to be. You always want to be among the pecks, but we don't mind taking the lead and being the torchbearers.
So, I mean, I certainly grew up in South Africa with Anglo, wasn't useful. The government always hated them, they always attacked them, you know, and the rest of us could get on with our business. I'm not sure that's how you manage your relationship with the government in Zimbabwe. From a distance, it looks like you have found a way to have a constructive relationship with your stakeholders over many years. Can you unpack that? Is my assumption correct? Is my observation correct? And how do you do that?
It is critical because we've got all these texts at hand, so it is important that we find the right code of managing the stakeholder relationships. And government is by far the biggest stakeholder in the economy. So we have to find each other, and we have to make them hear us and understand us and what drives our business. It's not always the same story that we talk, But it is incumbent on us that we put our case to them and seek their support so that we are able to operate in that environment. So yes, we do interact with government all the time, and we do also pitch our case to them, but we also pitch the case for government in terms of why it is necessary to support mining industry and PGMs in particular. There are some things that they may not appreciate. They may just see that this is an investor wanting to maximize money, but in any case, we maximize development of the country, and we actually maximize benefits to the ordinary people. You know, mines operate in not in the city centers like London. You operate in rural areas, less developed areas, and we are agents for development in those areas. We really make a difference, not just to our shareholders who invest in the mining operations, but we do make a big difference to the communities where we operate. So we are agents of development for our shareholders, for the various stakeholders, but more so and more importantly, to the communities around where we operate.
So I always wonder, in Africa, you often sit and a management team will tell you, yeah, but we don't get power from Eskom or the local supplier, the roads are full of potholes. I mean, Zimbabwe doesn't strike me as a country where all those other things work well. And yet you run a world-class mining company. So how are you less dependent, or have you made yourself less dependent on utilities and state-owned enterprises? And I mean, how do you function in what seems to be a very difficult environment?
We have known now for long that if we have a business to run, we can't entrust that in the hands of other people. So we do take charge in terms of making sure that the necessary utilities that support our business, we take an active role to make sure that we access that. Where we don't have the capacity to develop them on our own, like electricity in the first place, for the last 10 years we have been tapping power from Mozambique and taking direct to our operations so that we're able to run. We build roads where we need roads to access our operations and deliver our product where we want it to be. Now, more recently, we have been able to tap more power as well from Zambia and establish the facilities like a 330 kV substation at our operations so that we are able to tap power directly from any part of the world. So we do invest in that to make sure that our business is successful. In Zimbabwe, you don't necessarily have to wait for government to do it. Then it will not happen in time for your own business. So we take charge and we work around it.
But then your business case for renewable energy must be easy. You must be buying quite expensive energy, and you must now be able to generate some of it yourself, cheaper, I would assume.
The equation is changing. It's actually not even much better to import power than buy it locally. The local authority has just been upping the rates for power, so we find that the domestic power is more expensive than the power that we import from other countries, but more so even more expensive than the power that we generate ourselves. So an investment case for solar energy, which we have done phase 1 for, is actually a gem in terms of managing our costs and assuring us in terms of power security. So yes, we have invested in solar energy. We have commissioned our project in October last year, and it's now generating and contributing power to us at a fraction of what it costs us to buy it from other people. At the moment, we are buying power from Zambia at 12 cents per kilowatt hour. We're buying power from the local authority, local utility at 16 cents per kilowatt hour, and we're generating our own power at 3 cents per kilowatt hour. So it makes a lot of sense.
I just want to go back, and we're going to have your minister on in a moment, so I can then put some of these questions to him. So I'm going to, test your relationship with your minister. Now, more seriously, because of Zimbabwe's history, you have only seen 2 presidents, but you've seen many ministers of mines in your time. Has there been continuity? Has there been policy certainty? And then we can unpack a few of the specific issues, but you must have formed a relationship with many a minister in your time at Zimplats.
Yes, that's very correct, with a lot of more ministers before him. But we are fortunate now that the current minister came from the mining industry as well, so he understands.
But he's not a financial guy. He's one of those miners you don't like, huh? Just move on.
His background is not good, it's not important, but what is important is his understanding of the requirements for a success, to make a success in the mining industry. And obviously we rely on him. We don't really try to abuse him because of that, because we know that he also operates with other stakeholders in his current portfolio, in government, and therefore he has to be seen to be doing the right things and be objective. And we really support him in making sure that if we take any issues to him, they are well thought, compelling, and evidence is provided to make his job much easier.
So if you could magically move this ore body of yours somewhere else, I know it's not possible, but let's just pretend. You could move it to Botswana or Namibia or, heaven forbid, South Africa. Where else would you rather have operated? Where do you look at this jurisdiction and you think, oh my gosh, this is ideal for mining. I wish I could mine there.
Well, the first world sounds okay in terms of, there are a number of issues that are critical for mining. Yes, you may have an environment that is supportive, but you also may not just survive by an environment that is supportive by way of a government, because the government will not come and mine for you. What is critical for us, obviously, is the resource, which we can't move away. But second critical is the human resources. And where we are, we very fortunate that we have abundant, skilled human resources that we can shape and develop to meet our own needs. So you may find an area or go to a country that has got better rules, but not necessarily the skills that you need. So what we need, number one, is the resource. Number two is one is the mineral resource. Number two is the human resource. And with those now, we can be able to assemble, put together all the other resources that we need to succeed. So those two critical resources we have in Zimbabwe. We don't have capital funding as much as we would want, and we rely obviously on sourcing capital funding from other markets. But the two that are critical, we need them. But any environment changes in Africa. There's never an environment that is static, that we take as given forever. I mean, we just had the discussions that were happening before then in terms of what is happening now in West Africa, where rules are being changed. So those rules, those environments were good before, but they're changing. And therefore, what is critical is to be able to manage and control what determines success for your business.
So, I mean, I should obviously disclose that I've had the privilege of visiting Zimplats. And, I mean, when you visit the mine, and perhaps the context of the comment/question is 15, 20 years ago, when we spoke about mining in Africa, we soon spoke about skills and expats and how many expats do you need to run a mine. I mean, talk to me about expats at Zimplats. What is the concept? Do you have such a concept? I mean, Zimplats is run by Zimbabweans, 100%, or not so?
100% Zimbabweans. We don't need experts. We need to develop our skills base, and that is what we focus on. Not that we say we don't want them, but at the moment we have no need because we have the capacity to develop the skills we want. Where we need expertise from other people, yes, they come in as consultants for specific assignments that are required at that point in time, but not really for us to be able to be dependent on them. So we do tap expertise from OEMs in terms of equipment that we buy. They come, they install, they train our guys, and then we are able to run that very successfully on our own.
And so, obviously, you do a lot of development post the young people coming out of varsity, but the universities must still produce good geologists and engineers and accountants then?
That's the basis, yes. We don't develop from zero. We take guys coming from tertiary institutions, geologists, engineers, and then we develop them to become the people that work the simplest way, which is the way we do our own business, develop our own culture, our work systems and work methods that work for us and deliver results that we want.
And in Zimbabwe, are there legally enforced quotas for women or any specific designated groups? And how are you doing in terms of diversity in your workforce?
There are no regulations to that effect, but obviously, as you know, as you progress, as most organizations, modern organizations, it is an aspiration that we do, we follow as well, without necessarily becoming law. So we're targeting to at least we have 20% of all our employees being women. It's a big challenge, particularly for underground employees, but we are making success there. We are now sitting at just above 10% of employees working underground being women, and our aspiration is certainly to grow that number to a better, to next 15%, 20% as we move on.
So for the moment, Zimbabwe features as one of the African countries that is closing down lithium exports in order to force beneficiation, and I'm not completely on top of the topic, but in platinum, are there similar pressures on you doing more value adding in the country, and how is that unfolding?
Yes, the government imposed a carrot and stick approach in terms of the PGMs as well, where they imposed export levies if you don't beneficiate to a certain degree. And those regulations are in place and being enforced now. With the Zimplats, we have been developing to beneficiate. And just last year, we commissioned our big smelter that has capacity to process for not only for Zimplats, but for other players as well in the country. So we are way ahead in terms of our beneficiation approach. Something that we adhere to is part of our DNA to value add, and we are doing that.
So if one were going to look back 10 years in the future, you look back, have you done this because of the government pressure? Have you done this because it made economic sense, or was it a blend of stick and carrot?
It was a blend of stick and carrot, and it was also an issue to balance our capacity within the group, where we are beneficiating from South Africa, from IRS, and we took advantage of the need to grow capacity there to then establish some capacity also in Zimbabwe and balance our good portfolio in that regard. We know that money is not there at the moment. PGM prices are down. So obviously we had to slow down to accommodate the situation that we face. But certainly we are well advanced in terms of our beneficiation facilities, and we continue to look at those as opportunities arise.
So you've got a nice ore body. It's a shallow, easy dipping, decent grade ore body. Why? So two questions. Where does that put you on the cost curve? And why aren't you producing more?
Yes, certainly the ore body for us is a strategic advantage. It's low and wide and allows full mechanization. In fact, now we are advancing in terms of our mechanization, introducing now automated equipment, where we digitize equipment, where we are now introduced remote mining from surface, and it will help in terms of improving our efficiencies. So we're moving in that direction to improve our productivity, improve our safety, and increase, obviously, the returns that we make. Why are we not advancing? We are advancing. I think we are mining development now. All the mines that are depleting, we are now introducing this technology of highly mechanized environments and automated equipment now, and that's the way we are going to do in terms of business. And as a result, it puts us right at the extreme left-hand side of the cost curve for the industry. We must sit maybe one level above one big mine in South Africa, which is an open cast mine, but we are right there on the extreme left side of the cost curve for the industry.
Mm. Now, I suspect that you are nearer to the end of your career as the CEO of Zimplats than the beginning of your career. So, are you contemplating handing this business that you've run for a long time over the process? How does succession work? Or are the people in Joburg going to decide that because they're the shareholders? Just talk us through Zimplats' succession.
The succession system in Zimplats is well established, as is for the group as well. We do follow the group procedures, group standards there. People are developed over a number of years, not just within Zimplats, but within the group as well. So we do have a wide pool in terms of our succession plan that taps within Zimplats itself, and that taps also from the group. So we interact, we work together very well, and the group will exercise its mind in terms of the final decision, but we are well geared for it, well developed for it. It's not something that worries us at this point in time.
But now, Mr. Mhembere, yes, I mean, mining CEOs tell their shareholders, the world, that there's a skills shortage. You operate in a country called Zimbabwe. You sit here, you tell me you've got fantastic skills, enough of it, and your succession is in place.
We are well set up.
It is amazing the disconnect between public perception and reality sometimes. I obviously believe you, but it is so not what I think people would assume when they think about mining in Zimbabwe. There are enough well-qualified Zimbabweans to run a world-class platinum mine, and you don't lose sleep over skills.
We work for it. It just doesn't happen, we work for it.
So, are you planning to retire somewhere in the foreseeable future? And what does retirement look for a successful Zimbabwean platinum industry CEO?
It's playing golf every day.
Hey?
Playing golf every day.
Playing golf every day. Oh my God, that would have kept me working if I had to play golf instead. So, Alex, I want to get to the questions from the audience. They may not believe all the stuff that I have believed, so I want to see where they take you in terms of the questions. The social license to operate we touch on. As a government, your employees are unionized, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, when the times were tough, not so long ago, did you actually negotiate a reduction in salaries with your union?
We did. We were actually faced with a situation where we had to trim our costs. And there were two options, and when it came to labor costs, either reducing the headcount to the target level that we wanted in terms of our cost structure. And we did discuss that with our unionized employees with an option of saying we could share work but still achieve the same target cost level that we're looking, and that could be achieved by everyone volunteering to take a salary cut and therefore save jobs. And the employees did accept that concept, and as a result, we had minimal headcount reduction, but a voluntary salary and packages reduction. And it took us an 18-month period when people sustained that and allowed us to complete some of the critical projects that we needed. And now we are back to where we started. It has been reinstated for them. They're all happy. Everyone has been served, and people are employed.
I'm not going to achieve that in my 45 years in the industry to negotiate a wage reduction. There's a question here, and I can see where it comes from because of how we approach the subject. You speak about using consultants. Are you not paying a premium on consultants, and does this not reflect a deficiency in your critical skills? So just expand a little bit. When you say you use consultants, why is that not showing that you actually don't have the skills?
No, the consultants I was referring to are actually not consultants, but project managers when you are doing expansion projects.
Your capital projects.
Capital projects, which are the OEMs. So we use H, for instance, for our new smelter that we established. So we used HOEM specialists in terms of the installation of the smelter. and the commission help us with the commission. So they were not consultants as to trying to come and help us run smelters, but commission a new piece of equipment that we had established.
And they were obviously not available in Zimbabwe.
No, it was just commissioning handover. As an example, I use H as an example. Yeah.
I think we are not convincing the audience that Zimbabweans are so fantastic. Alex, what makes your human resources better than other countries?
It's the skills. I mean, the level of training that the people we have abundant skills. We've got people that are highly literate, developed, and therefore we work with them. But it's the interaction that we have. I mean, it's not that Zimplats has got people that are different from other Zimbabweans, but it's the training that we develop in terms of developing the Zimplats DNA, which is the Zimplats culture where people know that they are part and parcel of the system, part and parcel of the Zimplats family. So it just goes beyond literacy, it goes beyond the level of education. It is now taking that base from that education into developing a skill set that talks to us.
Yeah, it's a profound answer because it's not that you have found better people, it's how you get those people to perform world class, which I think is a reflection on a management system and a management team. And they are truly world class. I mean, by what metrics would you say your mine is behind? People productivity, yellow equipment productivity, safety. Are there metrics where you look at other mines like yours and you say we are behind, or do you feel you are world class in most of those metrics?
In terms of safety, if we measure in terms of LTIFR, which is the rate of injuries per 1 million hours, we operate below, we have operated below 1% for the last 15 years.
Which is world class.
And at the moment, we are targeting really to go for 0. We're targeting to go below 0.2 in our next 2-3 years. And we think we'll get there. In terms of our productivity, I think we are way out there. In terms of our cost, we sit right on the left side of the cost curve. So those are the indices that we use in terms of measuring our performances.
There are quite a few questions about lithium concentrate bans. This guy's not the minister. The minister's next. Okay, so those questions we'll put to the appropriate person when that's on. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I was hoping to do is to showcase somebody who actually runs a mine today in a country that we all have certain views of. I'm not saying your views are good, bad, correct. And I think we all know that Zimplats is a world-class PGM producer. We've heard about Zimbabwe as a nice destination for platinum industry. Everybody says if we could bottle what we have in Zimbabwe and take it somewhere else, we would love doing it. And I must say, in his very reluctant, understated, I wish I wasn't here, a way of participating, Mr. Mhembere has just blown our minds. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Bernard.
I know you don't like doing it, but you have to come and tell us that you can actually operate a world-class mine in Zimbabwe, and you do. So thank you.
It is possible, and it is possible for all other people as well. So come to Zimbabwe.
And there we go. See, thank you very much. Thank you.